I'm with Aaron Pirner. We are at Surfaces 2014. We are in the White Oak stand. And I couldn't do Surfaces without talking to you, Aaron.
You know, it's not a normal day without you around. Hi, Dave. How are you?
I don't know that it's normal when I'm around, but
No, that's what I love about you. It's always something exciting.
well, you see a lot of beige carpet. You can walk around on this floor, and there's lots of beige carpet. There's lots of carpet here that is unusual, unique, beautiful. And that's what White Oak does. Just give us a little thumbnail of the organization and how you got involved in it. That's a great story.
I think the most important thing is that we've got a passion for personalization at White Oak. And the way we started in the business is our roots are in the air. You know, we have an aviation business, and the head of state VIP market wants what they want, and they absolutely will not accept any imitations or any reduction in what their expectations are. And so what we've had the ability to do as an organization is to take that personalized service and that personalized design and color work and creativity that we could put to the interior of a corporate jet or a personal general aviation plane, and we're now delivering that to people's mansions. We're delivering it for motor coach business and yachts.
Now, did these go, and I guess where I want to go is, it seems like across America, carpet is being sold in bedrooms. And they're spending lots of money putting hardwood and other hard surfaces in other parts of the country. The products we're talking about here, draw a comparison for me with some of the woods and the ceramics and so on. They go elsewhere in the home.
The type of products that we're providing are as unique as the very specialized elm burls that you're going to find that people speculate and bid on in Europe. I mean, it's the type of product that we're creating is the top 1% of the 1%. You know, the type of things that we're trying to create are unlike anyone else's product. I mean, our focus is to really make something special, that the creativity and design changes the interior experience of the consumer. I mean, we hopefully, great design creates happiness. I think is this year's theme, and I think this is a good example of it. Most of you are going to recognize that this is a picture of Leonardo da Vinci. And one of the things that Leonardo is the absolute, unique, one-of-one Renaissance man. I mean, if you think about it, invented, internal medicine, I mean, medical equipment, I mean, the helicopter, I mean, the tank, I mean, and David, I mean, you go through and you look at all the different unique things that he brought to the world, but he changed people's lives. And what we do at White Oak is we want to take that personalization and the creativity of the unique genius of design and be able to interpret it in a special way. And as always, we try to do something fun with this. And so, the juxtaposition between Leonardo and the creativity of a precocious youth of Wooly Willie, where else are you going to see that? But that's what it starts with, is at a very young age, they have a unique ability. And what we found is that designers that we work with, and the mind of the genius that they can create, they can do amazing things with our technology.
Talk about how you got into this business, and maybe I haven't really said that, but you're a retailer extraordinaire. You've got a variety of different kinds of stores. I don't even know what the total number is here, but you're involved in a lot of different areas, and this was one of the last one you got involved in, if I'm not mistaken.
You're embarrassing me. Thank you for the kind words, but I'm a product of nepotism. That's probably the best way to describe it. My father started the business back in the 60s, and, as in a family business, family works for free, right? So I grew up in the business, and it was one of those things that I really loved it. I didn't want to go to college, right? My father kind of forced me to go to college, which ultimately was a good thing. Went through, got my master's in business. I mean, it's been a wonderful experience, but I just love the business. I love the fashion. I love the people. I love the colors. I love the textural, creative designs that come with it. It's unlike any other industry. It's such a you can not only explore, all the rigorous management and discipline and vision and strategy and tactics and all the different business things that are required, but you also have the creative side to it. And it's a wonderful place to go. It's a great life walk, and I think you guys that are out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's just interesting that from retail, this really rounds out everything, being in this creative end of it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of fortunate mentors in the business, and there's a lot of our suppliers that I've worked with over the years, and I mean, we stand on the shoulders of giants, right? I mean, you look at this industry and what it's created, and the kind of wealth that it's created for Georgia and all over the world now. It's truly an honor, and it's an amazing experience to be a part of the industry.
Well, it's beautiful, and we're going to show some of the products here before, but talk to me about, I understand the aircraft carpet,
Yes.
and even the motorhome market. Talk about where the rest of this carpet likely goes.
It's custom rugs and broadloom, and so it's amazing the different areas. Carpet is more of a restful area of the home, and it softens, kind of the hard surface areas. So what you're going to find is that between the area rug business and between the custom broadloom business, the broadloom lives in certain spaces. There's no question. It's the more restful areas of the home, the more quiet areas where they want comfort and they want softness. But the other areas of the home are very important as well. I mean, area rugs find their way pretty much in almost every room in the home.
Well, it seems like the mainstream carpet industry has almost boxed itself out of a lot of places by virtue of having quick-to-run beige carpet.
Oh, I think it's so true. I think that what's happened is the lack of creativity and the ability to do unique and special design and personalization with other materials. I mean, the very special species of hardwood and all the different thicknesses and widths and textures and all the natural stones and the flame techniques and the hammered techniques and all the the sizes and the scale and the combinations and the modular patterns that you can create. It in some ways, I mean, there's not to be generic, because there's a lot of beautiful things that you'll see around the show, but I think that we don't do the work as an industry that we need to do to effectively train our people, both on the interior experience that you can create with carpet, and we don't provide them with the tools that they need to really. I mean, it's like soft is a great evolution. It's been fantastic for the industry. What's the next step? I mean, we create some innovation, but where's the rest of the innovation coming? What's the next step that's really going to make that consumer choice be very special?
Well, I also think, and I don't want to dwell on this, but I also have often thought that if every retailer, or at least two-thirds of the retailers that walked into a store and wanted carpet, saw some of the patterned goods and textured goods that were available, they'd probably end up buying them, but they probably don't even know they exist.
They lack the confidence because, look, money becomes an issue when you don't understand the value of the product, right? So we're very focused on what something costs in this industry, too much, in my opinion. The second thing is that if you feel like you're stepping out of your comfort zone from a design perspective, and the interior development that you're trying to create for the mood for the room, it's risky. And so it takes a certain talent to be able to create something that's special for a customer and create an environment that's different. And so what ends up happening is that we take risks with things that are disposable, like accent cushions, or we may buy a disposable rug, right? Things that are cheap, but people like nice things, and they like heirloom quality things. I mean, I think you'll go into a lot of people's homes, and they collect eclectic furniture that's sometimes second, third generation. They'll have tapestries that they keep. They have paintings. I mean, why can't floor covering become one of those elements that people have a lot of pride of? I mean, when I first got into the business, and understand, I mean, I know tufting technology was taking over, and we're was kind of my dad's description as the war on wood floors, right? I mean, that was one of the best ads. He said it won't work today, but that's his philosophy for it. I think it'll work tomorrow. But the concept of trying to take a little bit of risk, not only in style, design, and color, but also with the interior work that needs to be done for the client to make it special. That's what's going to bring back value and potential investment in soft goods.
Talk about the creative process, and I do want to look at some of the products, but talk about the creative process. We've got lots and lots of looks in this stand, and I'm sure there's an elaborate story behind each one.
You know, I've actually got Hanna Crabb, which is our Director of Knowledge Management. If you don't mind, I would love to have her. She's a much better presenter than I am.
Okay, let's do that. Hanna?
Hi, I'm Hanna Crabb with White Oak Carpet Mills, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the exciting items that we have in our booth this year at Surfaces 2014. The theme for our booth is the evolution of design, and it's just a way that we played with some classic motifs and had a little fun enhancing them in different ways or experimenting with different techniques that are proprietary to White Oak. And the first piece you'll see is actually a piece in our sampling line called Prometheus, and it's one of our earlier developed pieces. It's a beautiful Greek key, a very subtle tweed. There are two colors of slightly similar tones here, just one's slightly different, darker than the other. And it's just a nice cut loop, beautiful quality. The next piece is that same exact shape of the Greek key, but we've gone in and we've antiqued it. So we've purposefully added an additional position here that will get an irregular shear level, that will get heavier in some areas and lighter in others, kind of giving it a patina. And then we've used our proprietary tamed end technique to add a tamed end of mohair into the low loop area, which really helps to give it that more three-dimensional look that we really enjoy using, and that is one of our best features of our products. But in addition to that, it also plays to the antiqued look that is very on trend. Then we go into something a little bit more contemporary and a little bit more exciting, which is we played with the scale. We made this much, much larger, as you can see. Still the same overall shape of the Greek key. And in addition to that, we went in and antiqued it even more. And we have a beautifully complementing tamed end in the background of this really beautiful royal teal color, also in mohair, with the rest of the carpet being made with the Leneve brand of New Zealand wool. And our final piece, if you can see here, we have the same scale and the same cut loop Greek key that we began with. But off to the side, we have this washed effect where we are having our cut pile kind of intrude upon the pattern in a way that creates a really interesting look. And this could be applied in a lot of custom ways. This could be used in an area rug, but it could also be used as wall-to-wall carpet, maybe on a feature wall in a home, and perhaps these areas that intrude upon the pattern could reach even further depending on the size of the space. We could also transition color, because this piece here is made on our new multicolor machine that allows for 20 color changes. And if you run your finger across the carpet here, you'll feel as you transition from wool to the slightly lighter shade, which is actually the American mohair, and then back into wool. So it has just another added. So working within that same theme, we have chosen another motif that's been around for centuries, which is the damask. And our first piece here is a beautiful cut loop damask made of merino wool, has a wonderful hand, has a nice visual to the fiber. And this is your traditional cut loop damask. We've then taken a version of that same damask pattern and gone in and put some loop where some cut should be and some cut where some loop should be. We've added another position that gets that same antiqued irregular shearing, and actually from a distance you can see the damask pattern, but when you look up close, you get a very organic, very textural, lovely, lovely textural finish. Now we've taken that very same pattern there and added again that tamed end into the background. And this particular coloration is our opulence pattern, which is very popular. This blends the Leneve New Zealand wool with the American mohair. And then we've taken the contemporary approach to the damask, where we've approached it a bit more like an area rug. We've scaled up the damask quite large, and we've allowed it to bleed out into the border and off of the rug. And this is, again, made with our multicolor machine as well. Last year, we showed you two pieces. One was our original magma quality, which has a low loop, a high loop, and then a cut. So it is a 3-pile height piece playing with our 3D theme. And we also showed you a quality gypsum, which is the same overall pattern as magma, but we have added a find in your single ply yarn as the wild end to add a little feathering of color and a high contrast to add a little more interest and depth to the piece. So we continued with that playful approach to the pattern. And we created another version of gypsum with a subtle kind of coloration to that find in your single ply yarn, giving it almost a natural yarn or a heathered yarn effect. And then we went to the multicolor machine and again took that same overall pattern, but we ran it in 2 colors. And you could pick really any 2 colors you'd like, and they could be subtle, such as these, or they could be very high contrast and give you a real great variety of looks. And just to top it off and pay a little respect to Kansas, where we have our headquarters, we created a 20-color version, which we call Over the Rainbow. So this is about a good story about how much of a variation you can have with the exact same pattern just by changing color.